Previously on Christopher's Personal Identity.
Happy birthday, dear Christopher and Jeffrey.
But when on Facebook you could get so many hits.
The problem the philosopher Derek Parfit will raise goes as follows. I can show you, says Parfit, that you do not really think having the same memories and personality and the same body is good sufficient reason to believe in sameness of identity over time. To show us this, Parfit will use some sci-fi thought experiments. And now, part 2 of Christopher's Personal Identity. Loneliness was tough, toughest road you ever played. Okay, case 1. In the lighting of candle 2, the original flame survives. In this case, you do not think flame 2 is identical to the original because they occupy two different places in space and are on two different candles. But in case 2, as you are lighting your candle, the original, for some reason, extinguishes. Your candle burned out alone. No, I better not. Anyway. Now, in this case, you declare, I saved the flame, thereby affirming that the flame on your candle just is identical with the original flame. You would see it as if you transferred it from the original candle, not as if it's a second flame. So whether you declared the flame is personally identical with an earlier version doesn't depend on any of the properties of Flame 2. It depends on whether the earlier version survives or if it extinguished. So the claim that it's the same flame as the original is just a fiction that we apply in some cases when the original is extinguished, but not in others. There is no basis to say it is really the same when the first one gets extinguished by, or really a duplicate of the original when the original does not get distinguished. Distinguished? I must be exhausted. Extinguished. Goodness. So really, Parfit would say Flame 2 is not identical the same as to the earlier flame, whether or not the earlier flame survives. For the same reason, you are not identical to the person you were in high school. If we could magically bring the person you were in high school to the present day, you would admit, I'm not them. Parfit's teletransporter example. Now, if we teletransport Christopher, or you for that matter, to Mars, that means the duplicate that ends up on Mars is not really the same as the original. But we will wrongly say Christopher survived the transport process if the OG, that means the original, is destroyed. But we will say a copy was created if the original survives the teletransporter process. But the truth of the matter is that a replica is not the same as the original, no matter how similar the body or psychological states are. But that means we do not remain identical over time either. Personal identity is a fiction because people are never identical with people from the past. We bear strong psychological, physical, and causal connections to some people of the past, but there is no personal identity over time. And there's a few quotes saying the same thing. I just thought I'd stick those on there.